Good morning, my name is Tanis. I'm a knitter, crafter, general crafter based in the south of the UK, and if you've been here before, welcome back. If you're new, then thank you very much for stopping by, and I hope you stay to the end. Well, I've finished something. I only, as you know, if you've been before, as you know, I only record when I've actually finished something. So it's a little bit it's a little bit up and down as and when I record, but I'm pretty pleased with myself at the moment because I've been making an effort to finish things, because I've been taking part in Crazy Sock Ladies. Kayla from Crazy Sock Lady runs a summer sock camp every year, and this very week I have managed to finish a pair of socks that I cast on for summer sock camp in 2021. Thankfully, she allows whips. Or she does this year anyway. I don't know if that's every year, but she's definitely allowed whips. And I have finished my Regal socks. Aren't they a blooming delight? These are knit. They're self-striping socks. And they're knit with my favourite yarn, which is Hill Studios Sherborne Sock. And I think they do the best self-striping yarn out there, and I love self-striping sock yarns. It's just because it's just so much fun to knit with. Now I say that, and you may think, if it's so much damn fun, why is it taking you 3 years? I'll tell you why. 9-inch circulars. I cast these on 9-inch circular needles, and I didn't enjoy it at all. Now, I should have just taken those needles off the project and put them on DPNs or whatevs, but that's not how I work. Oh my gosh, my throat. I've got all choky, croaky. Hold on, cup of coffee. I actually feel this is really mad, but I feel a bit weird about recording this morning because I've drunk a lot of coffee, and I am aware that I must have the most horrendous coffee breath this morning, and I feel weird about recording when I've got such honking coffee breath. Not that I've actually smelt it, but I just think surely I must do. And you can't smell it, so it's idiocy. But yeah, I did feel a bit like, oh, should I go and... Do you think I should go and like swish around some mouthwash or brush my teeth again? Because I'm pretty sure I stink. There's only me and the cat here, and she's asleep. That's another thing. I'm going so off topic. Bear with me. We'll get back to these socks in a moment. Do you find, if you're a cat person, do you find when your cat's asleep, you creep around the house like a burglar? Maybe it's just us. But yeah, I always say to my partner when he comes home from work or whatever, if she's asleep, I say, don't wake the baby. Amuses me anyway. So yeah, Hill Studios, the perfect Hill Studios Sherborne Soarkle sock. Yes, because these also are sparkly, and the colourway is Regal, and they definitely still sell it because I checked on the website. I don't know if they're going to the Southern Wool Show or not, but if they are and you're going, then I think you should definitely buy some. Anyway, I used a contrast for the heel, and I did a short row heel, which I've now fallen out of love with, which was my go-to heel for ages. I still haven't tried the sweet tomato wrap heel. Is it wrap? Anyway, the sweet tomato heel, I haven't tried that yet. I want to, but I've fallen back in love with the old heel flap and gusset. I never thought I would, because I thought that didn't fit me very well, but I've been making socks for as I've said before, my sister's neighbour, which is the other thing that I finished, and I will pop a little picture up here. They're exactly the same as the last pair of socks I showed you that I was making for him, only they were black and these ones are navy. My sister's neighbour is 98 years old. He loves apparently handmade socks, and he's a full-time carer for his wife who has dementia. Or I'm not sure that it's dementia. Anyway, she has memory problems, and he apparently never ever, even though she, you know, if you've got memory problems, you're going to repeat yourself quite a lot, and he never ever gets irritated with her, and he's just apparently just an absolutely lovely guy. So I am making him socks up bilio. As soon as I cast off one pair, I'm straight on to the next. So I've made him, I've posted off already, and they've received them, the navy ones, and I'm straight onto bottle green because, as I said before, he's an older man, and he really goes for the older man's dingy rainbow of dark coloured socks. I would love to be able to make him some socks like these, but if he's not going to wear them, or, you know, doesn't like them, then what would be the point? And I think at 98, you're allowed to very much know your own mind. So yeah, anyway, back to these. I finished these. I love the sort of, I'm not really a purple person, but I love the sort of toasty browny colours in this. I think this contrast heel might be a fruitful fusion colour. Might be, but I'm not sure because I've lost the band being a dipstick. But yeah, the socks for my sister's neighbour, carrying on much the same. And I've got another pair, like, and I'm not a liar, I really have cast them on, look. And I'm using, I can prove it. That's how much of the navy I've got left. It's quite a bit. That's about, I think it was about 15-20 grams left. Anyway, Yarnsmiths Merino Sock in this nice dark green colour. And again, because I don't know the fella and I can't look at the socks on him to gauge the fit, I'm just making them all the same in a 2x2 broken rib. So 2x2 rib for the cuff, which is about 2 inches. Then I do 6 inches of broken rib, so 1 row 2x2, 1 row plain knit, and I'm doing heel flap and gusset, which, because I'm doing them on these socks, I've totally fallen back in love with, and that's my kind of go-to heel at the moment after being a various type of short row heel person for ages. And I also really like forethought heels, but I do oh gosh, I really can't speak. I shouldn't be doing this, should I? The forethought heels I do on the Mr. socks because he's got quite a high arch, and you can do like 4 extra rows on that to give him a bit more literally wiggle room. Yeah, I've got a pair of socks for him on the go as well. Now I must put this back in the right bag. This is one of those little walking bags, and I thought of something the other day where I should use this, and it's completely gone out of my mind. I'm going somewhere. Oh yes, I've got tickets to go to I'm gonna go and see Loose Women being being filmed, not until October. But yeah, I'm going to need a project for the train because it's going to be quite a large amount of time on the train for me. From down here up to London, across London, sort of Shepherd's Bush way. So, well, not Shepherd's Bush way, it is Shepherd's Bush. So that's quite a long way, really, on the train from Hampshire. And I've got to change. I don't know about you, but I find it outrageous when I have to change trains. I think it's it's part of me thinks it's a diabolical liberty. What I need, clearly, is a sort of train chauffeur. Anyway. So yeah, so that is it for me and finished objects. I've got a half finished object though, which totally counts. These are scrappy socks. These look great on the blockers. Once you take them off the blockers, they look awful. Like this blue that I've used for the heel and the cuff, which is a West Yorkshire Spinners Christmas colour. I think that was Silent Night. And I think because I did these toe up, this is Giddy Aunt yarn, the green, which is, and it's a sparkle and it's absolutely beautiful. I didn't think I had enough to do the heels and cuffs with that. I think I might have had enough to do the cuffs, and I regret not doing that. But because it's so great, I think it deserves to be more visible than on my toe. Although when I'm wearing socks, I'm not going to roll my trouser leg up, am I, to show you my cuff? So it wouldn't matter. Anyway, it doesn't matter anyway. But the other colours with it are another West Yorkshire Spinners Christmas colourway. This one is called Vintage, is a vintage tinsel, and that's a sparkle too. And then I've done helical stripes with another West Yorkshire Spinners signature 4-ply, which is the creamy white, the slightly off white, which is called Milk. So I've got loads of that left. I've got loads of that, and I've still got a ton of the blue and a decent amount of the green, which is showing pretty blue on screen, but it's really not. It's a perfect emerald green. So yeah, I'll probably get another pair of scrappy socks out of that. Now, this is the second pair. My DPN holders I get from Joe Pickle Lily, which I've shown you before, but I'll show you again because she deserves as much respect as possible. And this one I bought to take part in the Strictly Sockathon, Sockalong from Little Drops of Wonderful, which will be starting up again soon, won't it? Because Strictly season. So I need to start thinking about what yarn I'm gonna, because I don't think you have whips in that. Anyway, so I'll need sparkly socks to cast on for that one. So yeah, I'm nearly finished. I've got another less than another 10 rows before I get to see what I mean about it, that looking like hell off the blocker. It just looks really scruffy and rubbish, but actually not, they're great. Anyway, about less than 10 rows until I get to the cuff. Was I waffling on about circulars, 9-inch circulars, and then just stopped dead? I think I did. My problem was I didn't like the 9-inch circulars. That's why those other socks took me forever. I just felt like the honey monster trying to knit with toothpicks, and instead of just swapping them over to fresh needles, I just thought I just want to persevere with it. Hence 3 years. But now now I've finished them. When I've been knitting that second sock, I actually don't mind them at all. So I don't think they'd be my go-to. I don't think they're ever going to be my favourite method. But I've sold, because I had a few pairs of them, where I'd gone wild in the aisles at Unravel a few times. Because this is a problem I have. I go to fairs and I have a shopping list and then I don't look at it. And then I end up buying doubles of things that I've already got. And sometimes I know I've already got things. It's just maybe I really like the stall holder. or I've managed to find a stall that's quite calm and doesn't have too many people around it. And then I just lose all reason. So yeah, I'd even sold some of my 9-inch circulars on Yarn Snobs, the Facebook group Yarn Snobs, because I just thought, I hate these so much, I'm never going to use them again. But yeah, since then, I've discovered that's a lie. I don't mind them. Right, so I've shown you my sister's neighbour's, Jim, he's called Jim, Jim's socks. I feel quite safe about naming him because neither my sister nor Jim will ever watch this, I imagine. Now, I shouldn't just say my sister, she's my lovely sister, because I've actually got two sisters. One of them is not lovely, but this one, the one who lives in Margate, is splendid. And in fact, if I could be anyone else in the world, apart from maybe Denise Lewis, I would be my sister, because she is great. Anyway. Here we have, although she's got children, and I've never wanted children, so this would be difficult. And then also, if I'm going to turn myself into my sister, then that means I'm going to have to be married to her husband, and then that feels icky and weird, doesn't it? Because let's just say, if I could be someone else, I would like to be very much like my sister. Her husband is great. And they've got one of those marriages that people reference as their relationship goal. I make them sound sickening, don't I? They're absolute, but they're not. They're really funny. And cool. Anyway, here's my temperature blanket. A little bit of progress. I normally don't show you this until the start of a new month, but we're nearly there, aren't we? And we've just hit a patch of great bright colours. So here it is. Look, there's an orange day at the end of July. That means it was really much too hot for me. I am absolutely delighted today. It is filthy weather. It's piddled down non-stop since about 3 this morning. And it's a little bit nippy and it's rainy and I love it. I cannot wait for autumn. I've even worn, today I've worn my DM shoes to walk up to the post box to post some orders from my Etsy shop, which I won't bore you with, because I'm pretty sure you're sick of me talking about snoods. Yeah, so I trotted up there in the rain with my brolly, bright pink leopard print brolly, my DM shoes on. Other clothes too, of course. I didn't just go out, you know. In fact, this top still feels slightly damp. And yeah, I just thought, oh, this is so great. I've got a pair of like handmade socks on. I'm all toasty. I've got a pair of nice clumpy, sensible shoes on. DM shoes very much remind me of being at fashion college back in the 80s, because that was like the uniform then. And I love them. So and I always feel, and I'm sure other people just think I look like a workman, but I always feel quite cool when I'm wearing them. I do believe that DMs are kind of one of those things that are like a signal to other people that you like creative things. Am I being mad? See, I don't normally wear my glasses on this to record. And I don't know why. I don't know why. Because I think I actually look quite nice, don't they? I like them. I'm going to wear them more often on here. Now, enough waffle. Enough waffle, Smith. Oh, I've had telling you about my plan, wasn't I? To was making really bad progress on this jumper that I'm making for the Mister, because it's dark brown and it's double moss stitch. It's quite boring. It's just a V-neck jumper. It's quite a boring knit, and I can't really do it in the evenings because I need bright light for it. And if I put my craft light on over me in the evenings, it makes a glare on the TV, which makes it unwatchable for him. And he works really long hours, so when he comes home from work, he works shifts, so he has, you know, patches where he's like 4 or 5 days off in a row. But when he's come back from work, I kind of feel like this is his treat time. So it's kind of, I try and make things things for dinner that he particularly likes, and have the lighting the way he likes it. And he likes it to be gloomy towers. I like it to be lit up as brightly as possible. He's not, and I appreciate not many people are a fan of super bright lighting, but if it was down to me, I would have, if this place was purely down to me, how it'd be decorated, I would have lime green walls, I'd have really bright lighting, and it would never really get gloomy here. But I appreciate most people like to watch TV and stuff in gloomy lighting, which is not my friend. Because you can't do stuff, man. I want to knit this jumper and get it done. So what I've been doing, I work from home. I work part-time in the mornings, and then the rest of the day I work for me, for my Etsy shop. But a part of my days, I've become addicted to Tipping Point. So at 4 o'clock, this is my little routine. I make myself a cup of tea. I watch Tipping Point. I do my temperature blanket. And then I spend the rest of the time that Tipping Point is on working on this jumper. And then even if I only do like 4 rows, I've done 4 rows. And I'm making massive progress with it, which absolutely would not get done otherwise. So it's knit using British Woolyknit British wool, which is like a blend, and it's this, the colour is called Chestnut, and that project marker, is that what, Progress Keeper project marker dipstick, well, I mean, those words are also true. That's where I was last time I showed it to you. So I've gone, it's obviously knit in pieces. I've gone up to the armhole, and then I've got probably 10 to 20 more rows of that, I'm not really sure, until I cast off. And then I've only got the sleeves and picking up and knitting the neck to do. So there is a possibility he may have this jumper this year. But his birthday's in January, so if he doesn't have it by Christmas, he can have it for his birthday, can't he? Anyway, it smells amazing. It smells super, super sheepy. And I'm gonna, when I've finished it, I can only steam block it because he loves the smell of it. And he specifically asked me to not block it so that it doesn't lose the sheepy smell. So I'm hoping when I steam it that I don't steam out that smell. But fingers crossed, eh? Fingers crossed. Yeah, that's a label, 100% pure new wool. It's 4-ply, so I'm holding it double. I've caked it all up. It comes on like a 500-gram cone. Caked it all up, and I'm just got 2 balls on the go at the same time. As I say, I've done the front, nearly finished the back. Bob's your uncle, Fanny's your aunt, bish bash bosh, all that stuff. Pretty happy with that. And that lives in this. This is a local yarn and fabrics and crafts store called Seeded down in Southsea, where Victoria's Festival is on this weekend, so I'm going nowhere near it. And I didn't get that on from there. I bought it online from Woolyknit, obviously, but it sits in that bag because that bag's handy and I like it. Now, I've got a bit of a, I'm not really sure what to do. I've shown you before, I'm making the Jenny flower tea, and a couple of people have pointed out that I am making it quite big and it's probably going to swamp me. And if I'm really honest, I've not massively enjoyed making it. So I'm not really sure what to, I'm thinking of frogging it. But I'm in 2 minds whether to just frog it back to here or to the neckline and then only work to the size that I should have made it, because I think when I measured for it, I measured full bust instead of upper bust, like a dipstick. And so I am actually making one that's miles too big, because I am unfortunately quite busty. If I could just wake up one day and they'd completely fallen off, I'd be so happy. But so far it hasn't happened. Like, I don't want to wish anything bad on myself, but if they could just shrink, just gradually disappear. I don't want them. I don't like them. In fact, sometimes I won't go out because of them. I mean, and I know you could have a paid for a breast reduction operation, but that's quite a big operation, and I know someone who had that operation and the damn things just grew back. So I'm not doing that. Right, 25 minutes. Shall I speed up? Oh, I can't open this bag. I'm all panicky. Oh, these are, I'm showing you these. I'm trying to get a few things that are on the needles done. I'm freeing up project bags like Billio. I've got so many whips. I just want to kind of like rattle through them to the end of the year, see where I am with things, and then, you know, have like a massive cast on party for the new year. Now this picture is not very clear, so I don't know if you're gonna be able to see it. These are a pair of like really simple cable wrist warmers that I bought. It says natural knits, but I think I bought, this is actually one of those kits from you know, the knitting gift shop. They go to all the fairs, and I'm on the second one, and I finished the first one. I haven't actually sewn it up yet, because when you sew it up, am I upside down? Yeah, I'm upside down, of course. You sew it up and then you felt them, and I'm a bit icky about it. I've not felted anything before, so I'm a little bit icky about it. I'm going to wait until I finish the other one first, obviously, and then sew them up, stick them in the washing machine, and just see what happens. I mean, it's not a disaster if I ruin them because, you know, it's only like a little cheapy thing that I picked up at a fair years ago. So I can't be that desperate for them if they've been kicking around for so long. But it's just a thing of you put so much time into them, to just ruin them in the washing machine is a bit of a... So at some point I'm going to have to just grit my teeth and do it, aren't I? But I can't say I'm looking forward to it. Now, this is a pair of socks. I've been making so many socks for my sister's neighbour that I've neglected the socks that I was making for the mister. Now I'm knitting these on my favourite method. Oh, sorry, I just kicked my tripod. Sorry about that. I love those crazy trios. I've got the other one wobbling about in here. I love these. They're like DPNs with a little joiny bit, and they're ever so flexible. And I think in America they actually call them flexi flips. So again, Hill Studios self-striping yarn. When you buy their yarn as well, it's already caked up, which is blooming genius. So these feel enormous to me, but they're making a really nice, that's more of a sort of goldeny colour in real life. I've had to have a big light on because of the gloominess of the weather, which might be affecting the, I mean, it's good times for me, but it might be affecting colours a little bit. A hair in my mouth, where'd that come from? So yeah, this, I don't know why, but I'm finding it hard to get on with these. I think it's just because they look so huge to me that it feels a bit like a never-ending project, like they're going to take me forever to do because they're so massive. But they're not really. And I'm also kind of thinking I'm not really in the mood for toe-up socks. So should I just frog them and do them cuff down? But then I really want to try the Sweet Tomato Hill, and these are the socks that I've got earmarked to do that. So I don't know what to do. I think I'm going to just carry on with them and just try the Sweet Tomato Hill with them. And if I don't like that, then I can frog them and just do them cuff down. And I don't know why that is being an issue for me, but it is. I should just get on with them really, shouldn't I? I honestly, this is very sock heavy, I appreciate that, but it's the final days of the Crazy Sock Lady sock camp. So I'm trying to blast through as many of my socks that I've got on the needles as I can, which is why I'm so sock heavy. These are socks that were the Sock Saturday socks at Handmade Studios in Petersfield. They do this thing, I don't know if it's every month or every other month, where they have a Sock Saturday. You go along and you get a mystery yarn and pattern, and then you just sit there for a couple of hours knitting socks with other knitters. It's a nice thing to do, and she quite often commissions like an exclusive yarn for it. Last one I couldn't make it to, and I really wanted to go to it because it was a sort of lucky dip one where you all get the same yarn obviously, but this was like a lucky dip of you just got whatever you got, and then you could swap them amongst yourselves. And the same with the pattern too. It's always like a free pattern from Ravelry that you get with it. But last one I went to, which was in May, the yarn was Pixie yarn, and it's called Spring into Summer. Pixie yarn, Spring into Summer. And this is it caked up, super pretty. And the sock pattern was, I've got, need to have another little drink of my coffee, is called Let It Shine, which is a freebie on Ravelry. And it's just got this really nice simple little lace pattern. It goes up the side, and obviously on the other sock it'll be on that side, and it's got a heel flap and gusset, and I've done the heel turn as you can see, and I'm just about to pick up the stitches and then finish the foot. So they're coming along nicely, and it's super pretty. I don't think I'm going to get those anywhere near done by the end of the month, because what is it, it's the 24th, yeah, it's the 24th, I've got no chance. And I want to get my scrappy socks done, which with a bit of luck and a following wind I might get done today if I pull my finger out. Oh no, I won't, because I need to restock black snoods for my Etsy shop. I need to get on with that. Now, not much longer, chaps, not much longer. I'm not going to show you these because these are just vintage hats I'm making, and that's just literally just like a ribbed beanie, so I shan't bother showing you that, but I will quickly show you the pattern. So I've made that one before in burgundy, and I'm actually making another one, and that's what I'm making now. So it's just like a shorty beanie really, you know, with a folded brim, which is very much it's very much what I kind of think of as a Soho chap hat. You see a lot of chaps in Soho in London wearing those tight little shorty beanies, and they look super cute. Oh, I think that's it's another cool marker for me. People that can get away with wearing those. Men that can get away with wearing those always seem to be very well dressed. When I say get away with wearing those, I just mean that it suits them, because I'm sure it wouldn't suit me. But I want to make it because I think they're lovely. Now this is going to be another keyhole scarf. Sorry, I'm all ends. I've done the first half of it, and then another one the same, which I've nearly finished. Well, I'm on the other one, I'm up to about here. So I've done the bit that sits there, I've done the divided bit, and now I'm on the bit that goes around your neck. And once I've done that, then I graft these two ends together, and then that's a completed keyhole scarf. That's something that's going in my Etsy shop. And that won't be long before that goes in there. And I think I've got enough of that yarn to make another one of those. So I've got one that's brighter, and I have 2 of these more muted ones, and then I'm going to just go on to doing them in solid colours. Oh, I've got something to show you that's a little bit on the crinkly side, but I'll show it to you last and give you a warning once I start crinkling. This, which lives in my Hide and Hammer bag, which is pricey. I like it. I don't think I would fork out that much money for a project bag again, now that I work part-time. This is, when I finish the Misters jumper, this is going to go on to be my tipping point project. This is a V-neck boxy, which I am having another go at because I've cast this on before and ended up frogging it because I skim read the instructions and I was in a bad mood when I was working on it because I'd spent quite a lot of money on this hand-dyed yarn and it's really patchy. It's got some bits that are almost white in it. There's one skein that's really bad, and then I've got others that are really good, and it's a bit of a, it's just, so I'm using bits of each ball to try and lessen the effect, but every time I look at it, it gives me the ump because it's from a dyer who everyone raved about. And it just, when I got it, it just wasn't, it was just, because I'm me and I will buy yarn and then I won't cake it up for ages, because I'm an idiot like that. I'll buy it for a project, then I don't actually cast a project on until it's way too late to, just would have been too awkward to to contact them about it. But if I'd caked it up straight away, I think I would have sent it, back, basically asked if I could send it back, because it was pretty low quality. But I'm hoping when it's done, I'm trying to keep all the patchy crap on the back so that at least I won't see it for it to bother me, and I can always over dye it, can't I? So not a complete disaster, but I mean, that person's not, they're not even dying in at the moment. They have been, I don't know if they've shut up shop completely, but then they're not in business at the moment. So pointless saying this really, but I know I'll definitely never buy their yarn again. Right then, I found some amazing yarn. Sorry, there's a bit of crinkling. I'm going to very quickly crinkle it up. That's it. Sorry. In a charity shop, in the Sue Ryder shop in town, I saw this amazing mohair. And I have got plenty of yarn. I don't need to buy any more yarn. That's ridiculous. But there were 5 balls of it for £4. And it looks like a vintage yarn to me. It's called Argyle Chameleon Mohair. And it doesn't really give you any more information on the label. It's 50% mohair, 47% acrylic, and 21% nylon. Okay, from Argyle Wools Limited, Pudsey. So I've got 5 50-gram balls of it, and a nubbin, a little bit. So I left it in there, and I thought, but it stayed, you know, it stays in your mind. I really wanted it. So I thought, if it's still there, that was like on a Friday. On a Friday I saw it. And then I thought, if it's still there on Monday when I'm next going to town, I'll get it. But I thought it definitely won't be there. And I went in and it was there. And it was still £4 and there was still the full bag of it. So I bought it because I really want to make the rocket tee by, what's her name? Tanis something. Although she says Tanis because she's American. Is she Tanis Lovely? Or Tanis Fibre Arts? Is that the same person? Anyway, you know the rocket tee? I want to make one of those. And it's stripes of mohair with 4-ply. So I thought I could use one of those merino balls from Yarnsmiths. That would make it super affordable, wouldn't it? Could use that with this and end up with a super affordable rocket tee. And I've got enough because I've got way more than the pattern requires. So I could make a long sleeve version because it's a super short sleeve and I wouldn't wear that because for me, with my chest size, if I wear short sleeve things, it focuses all your attention on my chest. So I need a longer sleeve thing and it sort of balances things out. So yeah, so that's my plan for that. I don't know if I'm actually going to do it or not. But that is my plan because I don't have the pattern. I haven't bought the pattern, which is a sign, isn't it? If I'd bought the pattern, then that means it was definitely going to happen. But I know people who've made it, and like someone I know from Instagram made one recently, and hers looks amazing, and it really gave me a kick up the bum to want to do it. And then when I saw that yarn, I felt like that was like fate. So I think that's pretty much it for my knitting this time. I think that's it. That's all my whips. Next time you see me, I'll probably be off this sock knitting kick because it'll be the end of the summer sock camp and I'll have had enough. But hopefully I'll stick with the ones I've got on the needles. I want to keep going with the ones for the mister, obviously the ones for Jim, and keep a pair for me on the go. So I've got 3 pairs of socks on the go all the time. That's okay for a bit of evening mindless knitting, isn't it? And then just the stuff that I do for my Etsy shop is just, you know, that happens in the daytime anyway, because that is literally work. Other than that, if you want to naff off now, if you're not interested in hearing about what books I've read recently, I totally understand. But I think that's a mistake. So I'm just going to talk about books, a little bit of life stuff, and then I'll let you be off because we will be in under an hour then. Right, so I finished. Right, so try if you're going, but don't. Books. I have read. I finished Vanity Fair by W.M. Thackeray. I'll pop pictures of these up, which is a great book. I really love that. It's quite a long. It's quite a long book though for summer reads. I feel like that's more of like a cozy winter read because it's quite. It's small type and a lot of pages. So I think that's a real sort of snuggling up with book, and it is fun. I read Bad Men by Julie May Cohen. I'm going to pop a picture of that up. That's, I'm part of the, I've said before, there's an online digital readers book group from my local library. So you vote on a book to either read the ebook or listen to the audiobook. I always go for the audiobook. And then you meet up once a month and have a chat about it, and it's great. I don't always do it because sometimes the book they choose is so far out of my interest or I'm just not in the mood for it. It's quite murdery. People do loads of people vote on it, but roughly the same 10 to 20 people go to the online group, and it's the people that don't go to the online group who seem to go for the murdery books, because when we're talking about them we're all a bit kind of like a bit fed up with murdery books. This was a murdery book, but it was a funny murdery book. As I say, Bad Men by Julie May Cohen. It's about a woman who is a very she's very well off, so that allows her to sort of go about her life sort of under the radar, really. She can do as she likes. She's not tied to an employer or anything. It's got a very dark start, which I nearly gave up on it because I wasn't in the mood for it. There's a bit, she's got an abusive stepfather who sexually abuses her as a child, and there's a little bit about that, which is pretty hard going, and I did nearly give up then. And there's another bit further in the book that's quite graphic. There's two bits that are quite graphic about body parts. There's one that's about body parts, and there's a bit right at the end with a torture scene, which doesn't go on very long, but it is horrible. And I'm not here for the gore. It's just not for me. I find it pretty distasteful when people do that. I just don't think you need to actually spell it out. Other than that, it is a book that did literally make me laugh. And you know, on the blurb, whenever it says, "Oh, made me laugh out loud," that's, to me, that's put it back on the shelf, because that's, to me, that's like saying you really love Friends, or The Vicar of Dibley made you roll in the aisles. It just, we're not going to be friends. Don't find either of those things remotely funny. So this one though actually did really make me laugh. She just comes out with these funny little asides, like when she's talking about the sort of, because her thing is she kills bad men, which is what's called bad men. So men that are, and she does this list of kind of sort of men that she goes for, is like misogynists, rapists, you know, like not like really horrible men, and then she says, and mansplainers, and then she went, only joking about the last one. No one has that much time, and it's just silly little things like that just really tickled me. I used to go to the National Portrait Gallery Portrait Artist of the Year award exhibition every year, and since I've been living down here, I don't have a direct train into London, and it's quite a faff to get into London from here, so I've not been going, and COVID and shite. So, but I used to always go, and I used to always buy the catalogue, and every now and then I'll read one at random. So I've read that recently, so that was really nice. I read through like the 2017 one, and it's nice because it's got nice little prints of some of the paintings in there, and I can kind of, some of them I remember standing in front of, and how they make you feel and stuff. So that's good. And there's always a few essays in there from artists that are interesting and thought-provoking, so I enjoyed that. I'm currently reading, this is a cracker. Now, do you remember I've won an Instagram competition? Was it Facebook? No, I think I won the Facebook one from a local shopping centre in Petersfield, where the Handmade Studios is, and I won their summer reads competition. All you had to do was, like, you know, do that usual like the post and Thackeray, yada yada, and you won 4 books. Was it 4? Yeah, it was 3 books, and you got a £50 Waterstones voucher, which I haven't spent yet because I'm saving that for when the kids go back to school. I'm going to go to Portsmouth Waterstones, and I'm going to have a lovely time browsing books at my leisure, and then I'm going to have a cup of tea in their cafe and a bit of cake. But one of the books that I won was this one, which is really not my thing, really not a book I would have picked up. It's sort of a magical fantasy type, mystical realism, is it that? It's set in modern times. It's about a family who have been collecting, it's about 2 families really that collect these spell books, really, and there's a bit of sort of thrillerish escapades running through it. Well, not a bit, it's a thriller, but based on magic, really, and which to me is a massive eye roll. But this is such a good book. This is such a good read. I'm really gripped with it. I've not had enough time to read lately as I would normally. Normally I aim for reading about 50 pages a day, between 30 and 50, and I've not got anywhere near that. But also, I'm loving it so much that I'm limiting myself to 1 or 2 chapters a day of it because I don't want it to end. So, which is a big sign with me. If I do that, that means I really love a book. Because if I'm setting myself a page target to read every day, then maybe that means I'm not enjoying it so much because I'm having to pace myself through it. But this is so good. And it's her first book. I don't know how you pronounce her surname, so I'm just going to put it up there. We'll just call her Emma. It's her first book, and I definitely would read more. She, you know, hopefully she'll have a longer writing career, and she'll bring out more books. But I'm going to look out for them because even though it's not normally my thing, this one is 100% my thing. Putting that on my book holder case thing. Where's my little notebook? Oh well. We have one of those bookshare boxes on the way into town. Yeah, and sometimes they have absolute delights in them. Quite often it's a lot of thrillery, romancy stuff, which I'm not so much in the mood for. But sometimes there's some absolute crackers in there. And I found the other day they had this, and I'm really into a hardback at the moment. Miriam Margolyes. This much is true. Now, I don't think this has been out that long. I don't know when it was published. Hang on, let's have a very quick look at the imprint page. Talk amongst yourselves. 2021. Okay. I thought it was more recent than that. Well, 2021 is only 3 years ago, isn't it? So, came out with my socks when I cast on my socks. So yeah, there's a quote on the front. There's no one on earth quite so wonderful from Stephen Fry. And yeah, she's a Marmite character, isn't she? But I really love her. So I'm really looking forward to reading that. There's loads of pictures in it as well, which I really enjoy. I like seeing pictures of people's great Aunt Susan. Although why they include them, I don't know. So yeah, so that's it really for bookage. Oh, if you can hear that beep, that's my washing machine turning off. I must remember I've put some socks in there, so I've got a tumble dry. Got a tumble dry today, raining. Oh, I'm listening to another audiobook as well. I'm listening to a book called Upstairs and Downstairs, My Life in Service by, I think she's called Hilda Newman. I don't really recommend it. It's quite interesting now. You're literally halfway through before she stops moaning about what people are like in modern times. And a lot of that is a lot of hogwash. Like about, according to, well, like if you listen to her, no one now has any respect for timekeeping, which is just idiocy. But she was a lady's maid for a minor aristocratic family in the 1930s, and you get literally halfway through the book before she even gets the job, really. And then that part is fairly interesting. She doesn't really go into enough detail about day-to-day life. She says she does, but it's okay. It's at best I'll say it's okay. It's slightly interesting for like different attitudes, that kind of thing, and prices of things, and like how much they got paid, what sort of time off they had or not, and her general duties, which are, you know, I think it's always painted as being like they work from dawn to dusk and very hard work and hardly any time off, and she gets a load of time to herself, an absolute ton. Her duties seem really, really light, and the pay's rubbish, but as she says, you've got bed and board, and she earns enough money that she can send money home to her family as well. So I mean, you know, not too bad, and I think she does really enjoy it. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's for you, maybe it's not. It's not massively for me. So yeah, other than that, just a little bit of life stuff. I mean, I'm such a homebody. I don't really like going out much. There's a few things that amuse me to speak though, is the realisation of I'm a city person, and living out here can be a struggle. it can be hard to take sometimes. The not having a direct train, I have to go to another town. If I want to get the train, I've got to go to another town, which is a bus ride. Buses in the sticks, not great. Like here, the nearest one to me, only one bus an hour, and then nothing on a Sunday. And on a Saturday, today, there's only a bus once every hour and a half. If you don't run them, people won't use them, will they? Anyway, yeah, things that I find to struggle with is there aren't any galleries around here. There are no museums and galleries. That I said it's a great freebie day out in London. If you ever find yourself at a loose end and you live in a city, there's always something you can do for free. And there just isn't here. It's more, I think it's much more expensive to live outside of a city for that for entertainment. But I have discovered, which is a bizarre thing to me, outside of London, if you live in the sticks, my London self wouldn't have believed this in a million years, would have found this appallingly sad. A garden centre is a really great place to go for lunch. Garden centre near here and in a place where I lived before in Hampshire, really good quality food, really lovely. They make really lovely lunches and they're quite innovative and they use ingredients that, you're not going to get in my local town, which is very much, I would say, a Greggs and a cheese and tomato sandwich kind of place. Yeah, I'm really impressed by that. So yeah, my favourite place to go out to eat now is not, walking through as a street market. It's the garden centre, which is amazing. Anyway, so that's what we do for a bit of a treat. Every now and then we go to the garden centre for lunch, and I've never felt more middle-aged. We also went to, on Hayling Island, Sam's Sunflowers. There's a farm there that opens its doors for a couple of months when the sunflowers are in bloom. So it's a different sort of time every year, and they just really style it beautifully. I'll put some pictures in if I remember. But they will be on my Instagram. My Instagram is Tanis Makes Stuff too, so you could find them. You'll find them there. And that's a lovely day out. They put so much in that's Instagrammable. They put like old farm machinery out that they've tied up a bit, and a door and photo framey type stuff. So it's really nice, and you get to take, I think it's like 3 stems home to each person. And it's only about like £6 the entrance, and they have music in the evenings, and they have stuff going on, and they have like a really nice like lunch area. So that was nice. Because it's gone very lunchy, hasn't it? I had a blood donor session I went to yesterday, and I had the weird thing where my arm wouldn't stop bleeding at the end, which was a bit weird. And made me feel a bit woo, but within 2 minutes it was fine. But it was a bit of a kind of like when you have to press the little pad when you finished your donation, and then you press it for a little bit, and then it's just fine. You've just got like a little dot, and they lifted mine up, and it was like, whoa. It's still a bit gushy. So yeah, that was a bit of a like, oh, I've never had that before. Yeah, and I think that's it. I think that's me done. I mean, I've had one small triumph in that our sofa's past its best now. You can just see a little bit of it there. It was never my taste. Sofa purchases in this house have always been dominated by the mister, because he insists on having a very sort of squashy, slobby couch, and I like to sit upright. I only really feel comfortable if I'm sitting up like a church pew. But he said the fateful words the other day, it'll be lady's choice. As long as we're going to get a bit that's got like a chaise end to it, so that he can then stretch out there instead of just sort of slobbing about on it. So that will mean that you buy one that will be a nice colour, not boring grey. It'll be a fun colour, nice bright pop of colour, and a chaise bit for him to stretch to pretty much lie down on. And then the rest of it will be nice and uprighty for me. So fingers crossed that will happen soon, and that I really do get my own way, which will be amazing, because we have had ugly sofas for as long as I can remember. I'm so happy. Please let it come true. Pray for me. Right then, I'm off. Oh, I've hit the hour. Bye.